This week on Hermitcraft. Nope, uploaded after Friday. That'll be covered in the next recap. This week on Hermitcraft.
Hej allihopa, det här är Mumbo och välkommen tillbaka till ett nytt avsnitt från Hermitcraft server.
What timeline is this? Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and here's to our first week after a full year of Hermitcraft 6. That's right, the season continues and shows no signs of stopping, so with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
So, I haven't got time for much else. Oh, no. Ooh, someone needs to cover this up.
Starting with good times with Scar, because we just feel like starting with vaguely Swedish things.
Woohoo! Welcome to Ikea!
Having bought the newest chicken at the Treat Your Chick ranch, Scar's been assigned an Ikea store as a theme his chicken will like best, as a form of immersion therapy for that time he got lost in one, no doubt. It'd be pretty hard to get absolutely lost in this one, thankfully, given the size of it, but I'm sure he'll manage.
And then moving on, let's see some asterisks here. This product requires assembly, not actual size. Blocks are not included. Swedish cashier not included also.
Naturally, this is very much a relaxation project after how overworked he was for the Hermitville build-off, a retrospective on which you can check out in the iCards. We can all understand him taking it slower for a while now, and oh, no, there he goes, yep, that's one sizable project. Oh, it's after our cutoff day, so we'll talk about that one next week.
Lisa, you just pooped, and I'm not cleaning it up this time. I have not. I have cleaned up all of your poop for the last couple hours here, and I'm not doing it again now.
Here's hoping Stress Monster's examination of this shoplet will go better than her visiting the actual warehouses around here. When Cherry Computers turns out to be out of stock of observers, she heads over to bulk buy from Sahara, which takes one look at her order and promptly breaks. Well, not exactly, but it doesn't give her a few of the stacks of items she asked for.
I think I lost some as well, and some carrots, because I didn't shift click them out, and I'm worried that I've broken it.
Calling out an engineer in the form of Iskal to fix the problem, it ultimately doesn't stop her from rigging up a sorting and storage system in another tower of the Iceberg Castle. Really, it's but a way to keep her trading supplies in check now she's done with cleaning out the rails and bits of villager breeding apparatus. The villagers from it receive a very Harry Potter treatment.
I don't know where to put them. Maybe underneath the stairs here. I feel like this is going to be the safe spot for them.
This is still better living conditions than some might get. Here we have TFC shopping for fish because one of his vault rooms is an aquarium.
Somebody missed out on an opportunity here with the whole fish thing. There's a whole lot of potential in all that. Oh, come on.
He doesn't manage to find False Symmetry's fish shop in the sprawl of the shopping district, so his stroll around the commercial areas ends up being a critique of about half of Concorp's shops. Or maybe that's just because Concorp owns half the shopping district at this point, we're not sure.
Alright, this is new. I haven't seen this before. Okay, maybe it's not new, but it's new to me, okay? Yeah.
In the absence of fish, TFC decides to go ahead with another challenging apartment redesign, replacing the floor with magma blocks and campfires, or maybe just cranking up the heating to 11.
So, this will be the Hotfoot apartment.
So if you're wondering what False Symmetry is doing instead of restocking her for-profit oceanarium, the answer is Vikings. Also mushrooms, and big ones.
A little bit shorter than this, a little bit more sort of in between these two, right? Not complete, N shape.
The further customization of her fantasy base leads her to fairy houses at the foot of the custom spruces and towering fungi that would put even the richest of the mycelium biomes to shame. On the other side, she drops a Viking Longboat to accompany the other sailboat she has. Not as grand as Scar's hydroplane, she admits, but a bit more grounded.
Okay, well, she brought in Viking-style ships. That's not fantasy. Look at what Scar's done. Guys, what I built was my fantasy, okay?
Then she takes a whole ocean monument out of existence. As you do. Speaking of things that don't exist, aliens.
Excuse me, good sir. Who are you two?
Also, soon to be a buttload of chunks. Remember that one time during the Civil War when Docm sent llamas to space? Well, it turns out space was watching. While working a little more on his tunnel to the Doc Systems site, he casually TNTs a wall and discovers a crashed UFO behind it. Following the trail of destruction back to the surface, he finds a new automatic wool farm mysteriously constructed in his backyard, and the villagers in his garage transformed into some very square-headed aliens.
We saw 2 llamas entering our orbit. Who would shoot llamas to space? Oh, wait a minute.
It turns out that even aliens get their ideas from the Psycraft team, and their first command is for him to build a 150-block perimeter in case anyone decides to storm the newly rebranded Area 77. The aliens also teach him the secret to flight, which is apparently to spam click with fishing rods. Probably explains why they crashed in the first place.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, and as long as we have fuel rods, we can keep on going.
Then again, the laws of Minecraft space are utterly confusing. For one, it kills you, even when it shouldn't.
Will these Totems of Undying work? They won't!
Azuma Void dropping into the latter part of his name is him testing how low can you really go in the Minecraft abyss, though the theory of using totems of not today thank you goes flat, sadly. How exactly Azuma has this abundance of these mini boss drops is its whole own story, as quite satisfied with his raid farm from last week, he still went ahead and built another one by a different, more exploity design. Can't help but feel that random loot tables UHC they did kinda got him hooked on this stuff.
We get 6 of those. These better be good. No way! Please don't tell any of the other hermits. Please, let's keep it between you and me. Come on!
The supplies not used up in dodging his cosmic fate, Azuma puts into a newly built Totem of Undying shop, which now has every chance of putting Did You Die boxes out of business, seeing as how the amount of stock can make sure no one dies basically ever.
So every minute we can do an entire raid's worth of emeralds and Totems of Undying. This thing is absolutely nuts.
Neither will we be seeing any tool sales, as long as his now self-running repair shop gets the patronage it deserves. But hey, you know who can't use Totems of Undying? Baby villagers. Impulse SV is a lot happier now his combination crop farm and villager breeder is fully armed and operational. Just don't ask what happens to the children.
I'm not keeping the babies just yet. Yeah, they're taking baths in Happy Fun sauce down there.
The crop farm is not the only thing due for a revival. Once Cubfan drops by with all the leftover stock from Biffa's book boutique, Impulse decides the best way to distribute them is to restock the long-dormant iLoot machine with 9 shulker boxes, each with a random selection of books. The hook, though, is that one box contains a golden ticket that promises a magical tour of his factory. Actually, no, it's just a coupon for 10 free books at iTrade. And it's probably a good thing you don't get a tour of his factory because, as we said, you don't want to know what happens to the children. Impulse has a golden ticket of his own, of course, but he's still happy to exchange that for diamonds.
Yay! Okay. People are buying gold apparently.
Now, the reason Cubfan was digging through Biffa's novels is because the space taken by the dusty librarian was the space he had a better use for: Redstone Parts. The Redstone Parts of a very self-explanatory 2 Dimensions shop, although the sign on the entrance reads ED.
Also, just want to mention that I repaired the hill here, so there's no longer sort of like a hole here where Jevon's ship shop was.
The idea is to distribute end and nether resources to the masses in a convenient shulker box package via a purchasing system of buttons and receipts for convenient bookkeeping. The idea also is to low-key throw shade at Sahara, as this shop was assembled in much less than 3 months by much less than 3 people, and with much less fanfare and rendogs being killed at the ceremony. So low-key, in fact, Cub doesn't even mention Sahara in the video, and all the shade tossing is done in the comments section.
Let me just show you. And there we go, little ding sound played, and there's my 4 stacks of soul sand. And we also got a receipt, soul sand 1 diamond for 4 stacks.
Speaking of which, the buyback exploit by Grian does not go unnoticed, but Cub is more entertained by it than anything. Despite his shops now actually paying people, all remain incredibly profitable.
He brought the glass right to us, so Grian basically works for Concorp now.
Farmable stuff is even easier to produce since he converted Concorp's sweet berry farm and tree farm to a bone meal producer with just a couple of composters.
He's insanely efficient.
Who knew that farmable stuff would be the downfall of Mumbo? This week has been a challenge for him. Actually, 2 challenges. 2 very Swedish challenges. As the forfeit for being the first participant in a hot potato game he didn't know existed, Mumbo had to do his intro in another language, which means it's time for Swedish lessons with your favourite teacher, Mr. 85.
I hope you're not making me say things that aren't actually, because I have total faith in you right now.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. I wish I did that now.
But that's not the only way Iskall wants to school Mumbo, because now they've entered into a contest to see who can build the best all-singing, all-dancing, all-trading villager setup. Mumbo gets most of the way into building a concrete copy of Impulse's crop farm breeder before he realises he hasn't even formally accepted the challenge yet, and with that he sees the perfect opportunity to pass on the hot potato.
So he can only walk backwards, but most importantly, he can't mention it and he has to act completely normal. This should be very, very entertaining indeed.
Setting up a lectern in Iskall's lab and concealing a bunch of redstone behind it, the goal is to make Iskall think the pages turning is just making a lot of trapdoor noise, when in reality the potato has been dropped into his inventory around page 3. It works pretty well, even if Iskall wasn't standing close enough to receive the potato when he was supposed to, but even he points out beforehand that it's clearly a redstone trap, so fair play to him for being a good sport and turning the pages anyway.
No! You're kidding me, right? Oh, I got the hot potato.
It's easy to have a keen eye for redstone after spending that much time messing with the Sahara shopfront after Stress Monster let him know it wasn't working as intended. Apparently, it just needed a couple more furnaces and a complete rewire of the entire delivery system. Nothing major, but once it all works and even comes with more sound effects, Iskall is happy enough with it to bring Sahara out of beta.
16 more hoppers, that's correct, and 32 droppers. And that's it, that's the full order, and now this should automatically reset when the minecart goes back to the warehouse, and then it's ready for a new order. Nice! Yes! It's all working! I even feel like it's time to come out of beta. Yeah, that definitely feels good. Feels good to get out of this of the beta suit.
Meanwhile, back at the villager setup contest, Iskall acknowledges that Mumbo's design was built by a ringer in the form of Impulse, so he has no qualms about waiting for Nembon to release something similar. In the meantime, he focuses on pricing, setting up a more automatic way for villagers to be converted into zombies and cured back again, hoping to make big savings from the de-zombification discount.
And Bobby, I know we have a great relationship, you and me, because you were once a zombert.
We're amazed Joe Hills has any savings left after placing the winning bid on the collection of paintings in Storage Wars, but he returns to the Hermitage excited to put some new interiors together around them. First, he has to grapple with the fact that the exteriors he's already built may not quite match the map he's working from, so a few features of the island need reshaping and rescaling, along with an important PSA about tide pools.
Kind of this way of that tower is supposed to be like a tide pool. And I don't know if you've noticed, kids, I know tide pools look delicious. They are not food. Do not eat tide pools.
He gets a chance to defend the newly crenellated battlements when a pillager patrol swings by. Searching the server for a cow to milk, the better to dispel the bad omen effect, Joe ends up at the shopping district and decides to make a few diamonds participating in Concorp's buyback program, shuffling a few stacks of leftover terracotta into the chests in exchange for diamonds, and also treating us to his best Cub fan impression.
Collect 2 stacks of terracotta, any type, and receive bracketed 1 diamond!
Grian has a whole new minigame waiting for him, the Dig Straight Down game, or as we like to call it, the Abandoned Self-Preservation Challenge. After the loss of diamonds from last time, you see Grian had to go mine for them, but instead of just keeping the spoils of the lengthy left-clicking period, he decided to reinvest the ores and have someone fortune them for him. The Dig Straight Down minigame is basically a collection of holes in the ground, varying in depth, stuffed with stone and ores of a random amount. What they all have for certain, though, is a lava block at the end. The participants have to pick out a hole to dig and keep digging for as long as they feel like doing it. But here's the catch, you pay 5 diamonds to enter, so the desperate want to break even keeps you pushing forward, while the desperate want to not perish keeps telling you that it's not worth it. I wonder what project inspired him to create such a dilemma.
I have no idea how many people have died on this or how many people made it, but I'm sure there's still some diamond ore underneath there because some people will of course bail before they get all of them.
Naturally, he tests this on Scar, and naturally Scar randomly picks the hole with no diamonds in it.
Totally knew before you went in that you picked the one that has 0 diamonds in.
Dude, I was determined. You know I'm trying to get that full stack of diamond blocks.
Oh, you left your wallet here. I'm out. All right, see you later, Scar.
And finally, there's Wells Knight, who has now reached episode 69. Neat. His time not suing Grian for blowing up his shop is spent furnishing the Hermitville Manor, of which about half is done, The highlights include a kitchen, an office, the banquet hall, and of course the piano.
Excuse me for a moment. Making my way downtown!
Someone please start haunting this place. This is Amnesia the Dark Descent material. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP and my name is Pixel Riffs. Zloy made a bonus video all about the Hermitville build-off for those of you with a short-term memory or a desire for more jokes about dabbing penguins. You'll find that linked in the end screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.